what you do to us niggers, huh?
Alright, lean forward.
You white people feel good doing this to a nigger? Yeah, you do, don't you? Get the fuck off me!
Yeah, what's that?
I can't breathe, help me, please! Help me, I can't breathe!
New information about a story we broke for you on Wednesday. A woman who says she was repeatedly pepper sprayed by a Montgomery County sergeant. New at 6, we're hearing from the woman's attorney who claims the Montgomery County Sheriff staff used excessive force on her and covered it up.
Not only the use of force that I have an issue with, it's the cover-up of the incident. It goes to the highest levels of our Sheriff's Department.
In September 2016, thanks only to an internal whistleblower leaking information, the people of Dayton got to see the heartbreaking footage of Amber Swink, fixed in a 7-point restraint chair, being pepper sprayed in the face by Sergeant Judith Seeley. The Sheriff's Department had claimed repeatedly that the video didn't exist. In the year between the spraying and the video being made public, Sergeant Seeley wasn't fired but promoted to captain by Sheriff Phil Plummer. He was more angry that someone had dared to break the blue line and leak the footage than the fact that one of his jailers was engaged in torture that could have turned deadly if the inmate had asthma. No outrage, no worries. Plummer dismissed Seeley's action as an isolated incident. Video footage that we have obtained and that you are about to see will demonstrate that it was anything but isolated. The morning of October 17, 2016, the State Highway Patrol delivered a handcuffed Charles Wade to the Montgomery County Jail, run by Sheriff Plummer. The jailers had been warned that Wade may be a problem, so Plummer's jailers filmed the entire encounter, in addition to the jail's video surveillance system, passing the camera around as they processed Wade in. They shove Wade through the doors into the receiving room, where they search him. When Wade headbutts the wall and the mat on the wall, the sergeant instructs other officers to pin Wade to the ground and get the restraining chair.
My lawyer will know about it.
Okay. All right, we're going into restraint chair. Let's go ahead and get him up. Let's get him in the chair.
My hands are... I'm not resisting.
All right, roll over.
How do I not resist?
Roll over.
I don't resist. I'm not resisting.
Stand up.
Just listen.
All right, hold on.
Sit down.
Have a seat.
Yes, Sergeant. If you put my hands behind my back, that's causing discomfort, which is cruel and unusual punishment.
Okay.
It's cruel and unusual punishment for you to strap my hands behind my back in a position where I can't move.
They'll be released and put in the arms of the chair here in just a second.
Well, we'll see about that, won't we, sir? Look what you do to us niggers, huh?
Alright, lean forward.
You white people feel good doing this to a nigger? Yeah, you do, don't you?
Guys, be careful with those arms.
You have to. You have to, don't you? What the fuck are you fucking...
Let's pause here and look closely. Wade is struggling, complaining that the 4 officers are hurting him as they push his upper body down, applying pressure to his neck, and start to uncuff him. What is the rational response here? Remember, Wade's legs and torso are secured to the chair. His hands are cuffed behind his back. Wade isn't a threat. The officers could simply back away from him and start again. But that would be de-escalation, and that's the last thing Sheriff Plummer's jailers would ever do.
Do it in my hands!
Got it.
Get the fuck off me!
That's enough! Stop resisting! That's enough! Stop resisting! Stay in that position right there.
You good?
Watch the hand, watch the hand.
Pepper spray can be deadly. It wasn't designed to be used at point-blank range as Sergeant Eversole deploys it. And to do it to a restrained person is just sadistic. Speaking of Eversole, when videos like this aren't shared, incident reports are the only source the public can use to evaluate what happened. Reading Eversole's report and then watching the footage, we see 2 very different stories. Eversole's report makes it sound like the period between Wade's left hand being uncuffed and the second burst of pepper spray is an eternity. He says, inmate Wade briefly freed his left hand from the correction officer's efforts to secure him within the emergency restraint chair by surrendering his left arm so it could be secured within the emergency restraint chair. I gave inmate Wade multiple warnings to stop resisting, which he ignored. Therefore, I deployed a secondary burst of OC spray to the facial area of inmate Wade. In review, from when Wade's left hand is freed to the second burst of spray is less than 2 seconds. All Wade does is reach up to cover his mouth from the spray. Exactly the same thing his jailers are doing. This automatic reflex to being pepper sprayed is Eversol's justification for a second burst of spray, point blank.
Grab his hand.
Got this side.
Watch that arm.
Got him.
Breathe.
Got it.
I can't breathe. Can't breathe. Can't breathe. Can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Help me, please.
Hang on.
Oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Help me, please.
Here, strap me.
I can't breathe. Help me, please.
Let's get the shoulder straps on.
Miguel.
I can't breathe.
Don't you even think about it, man.
I'm not. I just want to breathe.
Yes, do not even.
Get the shoulder straps on. Thank you.
That's the move. Here, let me get this side. Watch your arm, Sarge.
Feet in. Make sure we're cinched in. Double check everything, guys. Let's get him in the.
Note, one of the jailers has gone Western Bandito on us to protect himself from Eversol spray play.
Help me, please.
Belt here.
Help me. I can't breathe.
Thank you. Whoa.
Please, somebody help me.
If you need more evidence that Eversol has no problem pepper spraying inmates, and that what he just did was criminal, watch what follows. Another prisoner is knocking on the glass of his holding cell, and Eversol has no problem threatening him.
You're next! You keep it up! You are next!
Criminal cruelty aside, Eversol does raise a good question. Who is next? Who will be the next Montgomery County citizen to be strapped to a chair and pepper sprayed? How many tortures don't we know about because the videos weren't leaked? But then, I guess this is the more important question. Who is our next sheriff going to be? And will they have a problem with their officers using cruel and unusual punishment?
My people mistreat you, you can get rid of me, right?
People of Montgomery County, Ohio, the reason I'm the one doing this kind of journalism is because your local media doesn't. They rely on advertising income from political campaigns, the hospitals, universities, and big business that owns our local political establishment. Doing this kind of reporting takes time and money. I'm not independently wealthy. I'm a service-disabled veteran who believes in our Constitution and our rights. If you value this kind of reporting, and the video in particular, and want to make sure I can continue to provide this kind of in-depth investigation, please consider making a donation at www.ezrai.com/donate. I'm not running for office right now, but it helps to have funds to pay my staff for video editing, for the time I invest in digging into things like this, and to make sure I have funds to hire a legal defense in case I get blamed for doing the right thing. Some in this community refuse to work with my business just because they fear being associated with a muckracker, a troublemaker, a guy who calls out the establishment. A few work with the Next Wave because they believe in my social activism. Thank you for paying attention. It's time for a new sheriff in town, and not just a proverbial one like me. Read the reports at www.ezrai.com/deadly.